Come on. That's good. There's only one other place to be if you can't be free. I have the camera on the pod. The camera on the pod. Very basic. I have the camera on the pod. Well, guess what, pod? Look what happened. I put that camera of one eye right here. I got two eyes. One eye receiving what you see in two. Camera sits high. I have been spiffing up the apartment. We've come into the future. The changes have come upon us. We have been needled and poked, and they tried to do anything to stop the receiver from delivering. But somehow, over time, as certain things get extinct, from what goes extinct to the leftover bacteria and viruses come new growth. And not only does it show new growth in the system, whether it's created in a laboratory or it's recreated by the nature of time. It is inside you and me. We have been eating the difference and changes over the period of time since the body was born to the world. Forget about our entry into this beautiful soul. Is it our soul that we enter and we become the soul, holding the only spirit of light inside the eternal replica in our DNA known as the chakras throughout what they call apparently the Kundalini? There is only one place to be free. And there is only one thing we want to be, is free. And if you can't be free, there is a place to be free. In eternity is the key. The IT divide in the entity, ETE, bringing on the summer and words that go with summer as summer solstice. Key equaling to earth, key equaling to a creation. And depending on how you want to go through GameStop of games people play that have given us odds and telling us stories through mathematics. Blackjacks, let's figure out the mathematics, because with the mathematics, we'll create the odds. We'll create the odds in the house favor so the house can continue giving away free stuff with the money that you have lost, because the odds are slightly against you. You better play well, right? Just like the odds are against you. If you go out and buy one piece of wood at a farmer, by the time you drive there, imagine somebody delivers you a whole cord of wood. So there's only one place to be if you can't be free. If they take away your freedom, we just want the key to eternity. Arts and the e-world games, an analog disc program where the players ride the bus until we understand what it is to be a digital soldier. The reality of the digital soldier. Being manipulated in every way through every commercial and every other propagandic piece of entertainment that is shown out through arts and then commercialized and sold onto us during what we see as heartbreaking for the love we have for those starving in the world where they just printed $3 trillion. And you can look at the stories and only believe some of the stories. But when you see it and hear it from people in the strawberry fields and raspberry fields, you hear it in the apple fields, you see it when we have the incoming from Guatemala and Mexico, Honduras, coming in from Saudi Arabia, coming in from around Yemen, coming here to work in the berry fields, grueling hours. And you hear the true stories, you tend to believe there's starving people and people are fighting because of the freedom that they do not have. Because of words that have been bestowed upon somebody's mind that I should believe in God and don't believe in anybody else's words, puts less value into words unless you understand what peace, honor, love, and what freedom is all about. Because in that one word of freedom is the peace and the honor and the love that ties everything together. Those two zeros, those two O's, those two numbers that come together, and why their value is so much headed towards 6, because the reflection of 6 is 1 on the cube to the 7th gate. Every other creation will only be a pyramid in one side of the story. There will be no reflection to the story. I work this in reflection. If you want to bring it into singularity, I am the center of everything that surrounds around me. If I take a rope and I turn around in a circle, I will make a round. And on outside of that, my 4 corners are lost into the next realm where the circles are intertwined in each other, and you never lose a corner, because it takes 3 circles over each other to save, and that corner is honored by 3. 3 circles over each other, what do they do? And then 1 circle over all those circles, what does that do? What is that art? Because it tells a story. It tells the story where the O letter 15, or the O letter 15, okay, now relates to what we have in sports. It's called tennis scoring. And we put O and O together, that's 15, and 15 is 30. Is it 15, 15? Anyways, when you put the 2 circles together, when you put the 2 circles together, we get an 8. So instead of, let's say we'll go 6006, it'll be 66 and 66. That 66 and 66 will create between these two, between 6 and 6, it equals to 12. That will equal to 3. We will have 6, 3, 6 in this situation. But this situation is now going to switch to an 8, because when these two O comes together, because they're the same, instead of being valued at 3, it's going to be valued at 8. And instead of saying 6, 6, because we brought 2 together, so it's the second level of 3. Second level of 3 is 8. And I'm not sure if it's 8 void to 1, or it's the 8 that surround 1 on the dice cube. Do I have a dice cube here? See, the 4 corners and the 4 voids, 44, equaling to that 1 single dot that is in the center. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then you have 1, 2. That's 8. 3, 2, 3 is 8. So this becomes 6, 8, 6. And the value of these two are both 7 to 6. If you ever play the game of craps, these are the reverse of each other. See, the 5 and the 3 is 8, and the reverse of it is 4 and 2, 6. So 5 and 3 will be 4 and 2. And then the 6 and 2 will be the 1 and 5. Did I show you that story? Where? Yeah, right over here. Right over here. I always forget what 49 is, but I remember it's in Christ. So that's why you get the 3 over here. And with 3, it ends up to be 8. The reality is it's 636. Now, what is the other reason for it to be changed to 8? Oh, yes, because it's duplicated. It's 2 worlds coming together. So it has to be more than 6. It has to be the other side, and it can't be 7. It's the 7th gate. There's 2 sides in between. So 5 and 2 is 7. So when you get 2 sides in between, what has to happen, okay, is 0.5, 1.5, 2.5. The energy, okay, Earth, Mars. This is Earth, Mars energy. And see the 5 and 6, and we always spoke about the 5 and 6 is a replica. Inside 5 and 6 is both 1 and 2. There's your 1, and your 2 is switch positions. And there's your 2. Although it's in the deck of cards, it would be the 2 up here and the 2 down here. What has to happen is this becomes like this. So when you're looking at numbers, let's say you'll do this one here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this right. Okay, because there's different ways to do it. Because the paper can be made on this angle. Okay, I could be having to go this way, but I'm just going to go that this is 2, this is 4, this is 6. I mean, this is 8, this is 6. So when this is 4, this is 8. I can't go 4, 6 because it's across from each other. It's in the same row. This is the opposite. 2 is the opposite of 8. So I doubled up the 3 over here. I doubled up the 3. So inside here, you're going to have all these M&M corners. Take a look at, you see the star that is created inside of there? Like the Star of David is almost created, except inside of this, to connect them together, right, you'll start to do that to connect them all together. And now we've connected them all together. Now we've intertwined 1, 3, 7, and 9 with 2, 4, 6, and 8. And there is no 5, but the 5 is created by just recreating the duplication in the 2D area of 2, 4, 6, 8. And they all come together. It seems like this seems to like go down on an angle, like a bouncing ball, a screen. And you see all the hearts that come together. I'm not too sure what other designs come together. I'm trying to understand if I see an 8 or not. So we started talking about my arm is hurting me. So when the 2 zeros come together, when the 2 worlds come together, now because they become 66, and everybody knows that Interstate 80 replaced it, all the more for Interstate 80 to replace Highway 66. You know, in the camera, you look at it backwards, they look like 2-8 over here. So this is the dividing of the 7th gate, and it goes along with your word for moon, 484, Pluto, Matrix Silver, the Sun, the Fox Pass. Pluto is your 48. It's also SON Sun. It's also SUN with 45 Sun. Ways to create 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. So your 22 equals 8. Your 11 equals 3. Your 12 equals 23. So this will recreate this. That'll create this. This will recreate this. In full reality, it'll create this, and this equals to this. This will create 2 and 3 equals to 5. This is BCE, Bell Canada Enterprises. Down in the sewage, down in the sewage. Hello, everyone. I'm sort of busy, so I'm mainly listening for now. Dog eat dog. Yes, freedom, my friends, freedom. Have you ever been in the zone? Have you ever been in a AMA, 1-for-1 exchange zone to the God in the pound? 1-for-1 exchange. So this is the center of your cube. The center of cards, okay, is number 5. And the 2 and 8, okay, it's all going to be number 5. But the difference between 1 and 9, 1 plus 4, 9 minus 4. 2 plus 3, 8 minus 3. 3 and 7, 3 plus 2, 7 minus 2. Then it's going to be 4 and 6. 4 minus 1, 4 plus 1, 6 minus 1. So we'd have 4, 6, 3, 7, 2, 8, and 1, 9, all to match up with number 5. 44, 33 would be coming together. And if you bring your cube to transform the code, you would transform 1 and 2 coming together and now reflected in 8 and 9 through the numeric values of DC. So you're 19, and this number comes up with Rotas Sator and one other mathematical or design that has already been made on the network. So remember 19 and 28, the spirit and the cycle of the moon. The church as well. 27 is the red sun, beta creation, secondary creation, and will reflect in 46. And 27, Christ reflects in the DNA and the red sun to the birth. The heavens are over here. 2 through 8, 3 and 3 away from 5, and that's your Christ, and he runs the cycle. 44 runs the church. 22, creation of the gateway to life. Remember, who said it first? "25 years to life sentence." Paragraph. Just a part of the history of who you are. You spend 25 years, the value to your earth and heart, and the reversal brings on the Christ. The power to be all the best you can be. If you have the capabilities mentally to know what you're doing with the authoritative type, because you have to be authoritative to yourself. You have to learn how to make decisions and when to execute. The hardest thing in the world is to make a decision and to execute, to do the micromanagement of your own personal life for a better understanding of how you're going to move forward and be more successful, only so that you can put some food on the table and maybe have enough time to put food on somebody else's table. And if we can all just do the same and watch the back of each other, remember, I watch your ass, you watch mine, and a lot of times that's what we're saying. But we don't want to take no shit in the world, so we're watching asses taking no shit. So all these expressions are actually very deep ingrained into who we are, but we don't take the opportunities to do it because we have our own life to live. So that means we have to make more of an effort, okay, not to screw it up for anybody else around us. But where is our freedom going? Freedom, 66. XL Rue reversed the cover-up ID, if you know what I'm talking about. That's number 66 also. So we're right in the numeric fashion, changing over for the new highway that's coming to town, the new Interstate 80. But instead of it being on the ground, it's going to be Interstate 80 down Interstate 5, Interstate 5 running down Interstate 10, Interstate 10 running down over to the Key, from the Key up Highway 9, Interstate 95, from 95 cutting down onto the coast. And onto the coast, if I can remember, somehow we're going to be going up into Cape Town. And then we're going to hit on Highway 90, run across to Steeltown, all the way through maybe 96, split up Highway 90, all the way back over to Yakima, Washington, into Seattle, and back down to Highway 5 one more time before we get back to the gold in San Francisco. Start this whole thing over again, moving the people amongst the world, pushing it to where the money might be. Where do I need people? I need them here, because that's where the money is. So all the people rush to the gold rush. And from there, they keep moving the people, and it's a flow, and they mix it up, and they're moving people from California. But before that ever happened, Christopher Columbus sailed the 7 seas. Did I get this right? It doesn't matter if it's mixed up. I need some water. You keep the cat entertained, the cat keeps you entertained. You pat the cat just for a little bit, and then you can't think anymore. Then you're either falling asleep or you've come up with an idea because the cat told you. But you didn't think it was the cat, because if you thought it was the cat, then guess what? They'd say you're not thinking properly. But you're thinking properly because the only way you need to be thinking is that you're doing the best that you can do for yourself and those who surround you, and making sure you're watching everybody's ass and taking no shit at the same time, because you have to stand up for yourself so you can stand up for others, so you can help the others that can't stand up for themselves. What's going on? Not in here. If it's not in here, it's right. You have to use your own imagination when we play this. What is not really a game is a game, because if we don't play it as a game, in fact, everything seems to be a game because everybody's passing codes because of all the when your computer is corrupt, right? When your computer's not running properly, it becomes corrupt. How do you know who's telling the truth? Is there anybody watching this channel now that believes everything in the world right now, forget about it, that can actually see, because of what we discuss and how I break things down, because of the truth from the games, that we can't be serious. We can't be serious. We can't be serious. We have to turn things into game, so everything is lost in translation. Right into the commercial that seems so great. Try this product that seems so great, but it's just another way to have your mind over to something else. So personally, I believe some people do this. When they look for something online, they skip over everything and their eyes just braze across everything, missing just about everything on the screen except what they're actually looking for. And then boom, overlooking commercials and overlooking advertising, just overlooking till exactly what you want, so you see nothing else. And even when you're overlooking, okay, you still have to broom no matter how much money you got in the bank. You have to sweep your mind. You have to defragment every single day and reorganize your mind. Oh, my phone is off. I wanted to show you something. Yeah, I wanted to show you something. A lot of times, if you take your cell phone and you go up to the screen, you want to take a picture, take a look what's happening. So when you're looking at the screen, something is happening to the molecules in your eyeballs. And is it happening to any other part of you? Life in life, there's a whole party going on in there. Doesn't stop 24 hours a day as your blood is flowing, your heart is pumping, your breath and your lungs are moving. As long as your bowels are not moving while you're sleeping during the night, everything else is actually working for you. And all these little animals that come out of you when you're done, right? Those are the workhorses that worked for you forever. But you no longer need their mechanisms anymore to reflect pain, because pain is actually only in the mind. And it is it's just like your gas thing comes on your car and tells you you're almost out of gas, and then your whole car shuts down, so the light's obviously off and ain't telling you got no gas anymore. Your car ain't running, right? Just all your lights come on. So we talked about that 00 in moon. So the 00 would be your 66, reverts to an 8 highway 80. The 80 now becomes 86. And the 86, 6 and 8 is 14. Your 86 turns into a 5. The same way 77 Christ turns into a 5. But your 77 Christ comes in for your DNA through the sun. Your 86 is the son of Pluto. 8 and 6, 14, 1 and 4. Also, they're both 14, but 8 times 6 is 48. It becomes a 3 creation. 7 times 7 is 49. It becomes the 4 creation. 4 creation, 4 creation. Unite, fornicate, 4 creation. continuation of the word. Tree creation, 3 creation, growing of the tree creation, for the fornication of the tree creation, the fig tree has come, and even Eve is covering up for the fornication, where Mars comes in, 1.5 of everything gets chopped off, where 96 seconds became, because of the clock, turns into 90 seconds running out of Mars to show up on Earth and leaving us with 60 seconds and 60 minutes to a day of 1,440 minutes. Instead of a day that used to be 16 hours, well, now it's 16 hours of day and 8 hours a night. And they call it the phi system, 4 by 4, 4 plus 4, 16 and 8. 16, 1 and 6 is 7, house of the rising sun, out of the peak of the church. '61. I have to remember what that number was. Why did I say all that? House of the rising sun. 4, 3. I'm going to have to go and check my video back. I want to see what I just did. Oh, is this it? No. Copy. Just give me a second here. Trying to. Right? Your computer's not running, doesn't stop 24 hours a day as your blood is flowing, your heart is pumping. 0 in moon. So the 9, it becomes the 4th creation. 4th creation, 4th creation, fornicate, 4th creation, continuation of the word. Tree creation, 3 creation, growing of the tree creation, or the fornication of the tree creation, the fig tree has come, and even Eve is covering up for the fornication, where Mars comes in, 1.5 of everything gets chopped off. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. Time. I have it at 96 minutes, 96 seconds, 15 hours a day. And then I have it down to 90 minutes, 90 seconds of 16 hours a day. And that's where the rooster doesn't know if it's coming out at 5 a.m. to crow or coming out at 6 a.m. to crow, whether it's going out at 4 in the afternoon to crow again for the sun down, or 5 in the afternoon. Either it's 5 to 4, which represents the sun, or it's 6 till 5, which represents the orphan child, the student, the yo coming from Earth and Mars. And where do I get this information from? Well, just look it up online. The rooster is 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then the rooster again is 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Unless it was 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So they're going to be telling you 2 different stories. In the first scenario, okay, it tells you outright it's the sun, 5-4. That's a 16-hour day. That's before the clock gets implicated, okay? And then it's the next one where it's 6 a.m., okay, to 5 p.m. And that's the clock that gets implicated. And then it's 5 a.m., okay, to 6 p.m. And then it's 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So this one here is telling you the spirit of 76 in the church. And this one over here is telling you about the Yo 11 student born from Mars, because of how you can create the number 5 and 6. And that's where we're going to relate it. And you can even, as you know, in 5 and 6, I mean, they're the reflection of 1 and 2, right? They're opposite, but in their house, they're already reflecting and explaining. They are the reversal, just like your eyes are reversing. Just if they're doing sort of like a sex change. And I'm going to show you why. Because you see number 5, they added on the 1 single dot here in the center, right? Sorry, they added on 3. There's 3 added on in number 5. There's 3 of them added on. See the angle they're added on? There's 3 of them. But, okay, the value after 1, 2, 3, value of 6 After 1, 2, 3 value is 6, the 4, 5, and 6 are all replicated. Here's the 4 and here's the 5, the 4 corners. The only difference is the 1. And in the number 6, the only difference are the 2 in the center. So 6 and 5 now become the 1 and the 2, the male and the female. And you turn them around, this one's the male and this one's the female. They split their sexes. In this one, it's a number 1. You go to the bathroom, you make a pee. You turn it around, it's number 2. You go to the bathroom, you do a poo. In this one, you take a pee and you turn around and you make a poo. So you come from yellow to brown and from yellow to brown. So yellow and brown, yellow and brown. 1 and 2, when you go to the bathroom, they already told you since I'm born, go to the bathroom, 1 and 2. So that's what it is. You have to use the basic color. I don't care if the color was modified, if you didn't feel well. I'm talking perfection, man. It's just like a lot of people come to watch my videos sometimes just to watch about, they want to win money in roulette, but you can't win money in anything. It's impossible because if all you want to do is sit down here and go up and never come down, well, that's what's going to happen. You're going to go up, you're going to never come down, you'll never have anything because everything ends up to be the same thing based on time. If you have no time for anything, anything you have has no value. I didn't want to put that out there. So we were talking about basic time. We were talking about the rooster. We were talking about the separation, whether it's the separation in the deck of cards, 1, 9, 2, 8. We can also go 1 and 10, but 1 and 10, okay, we're going to make a diamond between 1 and 10. Because we go to 1 and 10, it's actually saying 1 at this side and 1 and 0 on this side. And if we go backwards, right, and we end up with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we end up with 8. So we end up with 1. We go to 5, okay, 1 plus 4 is 5. And we go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So we end up on the same number, 10 to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6 to 5. We went down 5. How did we do it with the 9? We went down 4, 1 plus 2 plus 3, right. I didn't want to do it that way. There was something I wanted to see. Right. If we did it from the 1, we would move 4. If we went to 10, 1 to 5 is 4. Plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, right? 1 plus 4 equals 5, but 10 minus 5 equals 5. First of all, it's the hand of God, okay? It's Mars when 10 and 5 come together. It is the key. I'm going to explain that to you in a second. And the 5 and the 4, the difference of the movement, creates a numeric value for the sun, okay? Going from 1 to 5 says Mars, and the reflection of the birth, 9 to 5, says from the spirit in Mars to the birth in the spirit, which is the human being. Because 1, 5, and 9, which is A, E, and I, which is arts and entertainment, A and I. And now where do you get the 10 from? 1, 2, 3, 4. The basic 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one is equal. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we count it. Total is 10. I don't know for the reason. We're going to find out the reason one time. Okay, we need maybe a position for all the explanation. 4 is the first TH. It becomes its first whole reality. Because first you have first. Then you have second. When first and second come together, they come together as third. So 1 and 2 together is right over here. But 1 moves. That's right. 1 moved into 5. And you know what? 1 is also in 3. But we don't need 1 or 3 because we play it all in 5. We don't need any other number but the 5 and the 6. So we only need 11. And if you reverse it, the 5 and the 6, and you reverse it, it becomes a 3. And in pool, 11 and 3. That's exactly what it is, and that's the red ball. So we had the 1 and the 2, so that 4 over here. Okay, so all we needed was the 5 and the 6, and that's Yo-Elev. Yo-Elev, the word Yo is the 25th and the 15th letter. Total of 41 DNA created from 7 and 7, 6 and 8, 9 and 5. The odds are 7 to 5, which is the gateway through M-O-O-N. When the two O's come together, creates 30, creates 66, creates I-80. The I is actually the ignition of the 8. When the two heavens are there, the I can now come in through the 7th gate. And if you look at the deck of cards, the 6 is inside the same replica as the 7 and the 8, and the 7 is the replica of the 8, and the 8 has one more marking than the 7 on the lower side. Now, the thing about the 8 is it's not really the 8. It's sort of the 8, but it's not the 8, because there's a gate here and the gate here, and they're the same freaking gates, except when you open this door and you end up on this side, you end up on the other side of the other 7th gate. It's the 7th gate to the 7th gate. How are you, Christ? Because Christ is 77, and it is spelled CHR1ST, as in first. ST, from the sky. 39 in French, it spells ciel. It means creation of I, and it is her sky. It is also a freedom number and a key from earth, because of this description of how you write sky and the position in the alphabet. The 19th letter, the 11th letter is 30 for creation, and the Y is earth. 25 equals 55, and that is your pass. P16, A1 is 17, stand on Q, created by earth. SS, 19 and 19, 38, and 17, 55. Why did I say this? Because the Y is the 25th letter. 2 times 5, 2 plus 5 is 10 and 7, 17. The 17th letter is Q. Q is in the 7th position on your telephone, but on the if you go to the ATM or bank machine, you'll see it on number 1. 1 and 7 equals 8. You'll also find that on the telephone, the Z is on the 9th number, but that also is taken off and put on the bank machine on number 1. So the Z, the 26th letter, 2 and 6 is 8. We're going to put that on number 1. 26, 2 and 6 is 8. At the same time, we're going to take off the 17th letter Q from the number 7 in the telephone. In fact, the 7th and the 9th key in the telephone both have 4 letters. Everyone else has 3, except for the one that has none. We move them over to number 1, and the total is 26 and 17, 43 DC. The other thing about them is they're also 88, the purple sky, created from the red and the blue pill, equaling to the purple. Now, if we're going to play pool, the purple is on number 4, and the purple ball is the 12. 1 and 2 is 3, 4 and 3. Again, we get DC as the smallest part of the magnetic part of the rainbow, runs from DC. Where else were we in this? I'm a little bit lost. We talked about the moon. We talked about the, when we talk about either 1 to 15 or 1 to 20, they're a reversal of each other, and also talking about a slice of the moon, because anytime you see 21 together with a 0, okay, 2100, add a 6 to that, and that's your moon pass. 2160 is the moon pass. 1.5 times the day. 1,440 minutes times 1.5. When it has a 6 alone, then I just add a 0, except I put a point and then a 0, telling me another story, because I had to add a 0 that had a point, so I can have the actual 4 numbers with 2160 or 3476, which is DC Spirit of the Church, because that is kilometers. So it's also telling me another association for its reality. Another thing, when we're counting in certain situations, the minute we hit a 10 number and we stop on 10, add 21. And the reason for that, okay, is because this dice cube, okay, the minute you hit a 10, it's, how can I explain to you that it's 21? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4 equals 10. So once you have, let's say, a 20, so that means we're going to count everything in the 20 house from the cube. Now, the minute we get a 7 or an 8 or a 9, we're always going to, hold on, I'm just going to try and explain what the 7, 8, and 9 do. The 7, 8, and 9, I multiply them by 2, 3, and 4, and it explains to me more or less whether I'm through the sun, through Mars, through the moon, or through Earth. Like number 14, the DNA of Christ is through Earth. Number 13 is through man and the spirit of the church. And number 12 is the female. It also is the birth through Pluto. Well, because 7 times 12, it's also 6 feet, which gives me number 72, which is the red sun. all these things, fractions and rulers and wayward obligations for the mathematics to work, are also giving us numeric value and comparisons to be able to mathematically match our letters and words up. Even in the word Jesus, it also mentions slowly to say je. So anyways, when you add up 1 to 6, it's 21. When you go 1, 2, 3, 4, it equals to 10. 5 and 6 equals to 11. Now in blackjack, that ace is worth 11. But at the same time, that ace, its first reflection of itself with the ace, is number 9. So 9, 11 actually explain a reversal of themselves, and it's A and I, where A is born into or through I. And A is two sides. A starts here as a point in the center. Do you remember I once made this design? I'm going to show you this design. Here is A. And over here, A has a support team. And over here, A is held up with a little pin on the wall. And it supports its neighbors. But in reality, I'm not really sure which way I should be doing this. So there's this one here, and there's this one here. Now this position over here is where, let me see, this is where A, hold on, I didn't do that right. Hold on a second. I'm losing my touch. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't find, I just set up my desk with my eraser and I can't find it. You have to give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I have to go look. I have to go to over there and get my thing. See that? GameStop, SAR System Galactica. Obligation design. Yeah, came back, forgot to get what I was going to get. Sorry about that. How is trying to think if that's the way it has to be done. Is that the way it had to be done, or did it have to be done this way? Trying to figure out how that had to be done. Just give me a second. I'm thinking. No, it had to be done that way. That has to be the way the A is done. And then we finish off, whoop, not good again. Now, how do we finish off the A? Because you see this box maybe should have been over here, but I can't make the box against the leg. Should the leg have gone over here? Should the leg have been made over here? And then I would have did it this way? No, no, can't be done. Can't be done. Something's a little bit off. I'm not sure what it is, but I have to do obligations. Maybe I made my leg too long. 1, 2, 1, 2. It should have been over here, first of all. Okay, sorry, it should have been over here, right here. I have to go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then is it up this way or is it out this way? And then I go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then it's out this way. And then on here, I have to create a box. And the only way to do a box is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. No, something's not happening right here. Very frustrated trying to get this right. Let me try it again. I'm going to put a box here. Okay. Now I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. And 1, 2. Now I'm going to put 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And now I have to go this way. And now I have to go this way. So how do I get this to meet this? How do I create that? That's the way it's got to be. So this is your A. So your A, if you take the top, you would have to create the top here and then the center here. This is your jointure. So your A has to start right over here. And then this will have to come to here. And this will have to come to here. And this is the obligation of entrapping both of these. The obligation of your ace. So your ace, okay, holds on to your A and B as it splits. It becomes A and B equaling to C. When A is inflicted, it then becomes C in its own house. So we did this part. We did not go into block 76, which this is not created by me, but recreated by me because I can give full explanation. And this is, if you want to take a look at it, this is how the game of roulette reflects itself in 36 numbers. I'm a little thirsty again. I'm going to read the comments. I'm going to go up maybe a couple of more minutes, see what I've missed, because I definitely missed a lot of things. Remember where Q and U comes in. Remember that when you count 0, always exchange it for 21. One of the reasons for that is because that becomes your cube. Your 0 ends up becoming your cube. You need 2 of them. Where 21 and 21 is 33 equals to 6. When your 6 is divided up into a house, it becomes 8. That line that goes between the 2 circles, creating the 8 in itself. What number 4 does? 1, 2, 3, 4 equals to 10 equals to 1. The minute you add the 5 onto the 4, bringing everything to the center, that 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. Plus the 5 equals to 6. What is the value of 0? It is 6. So that becomes Mars. It becomes 10 and 15. It becomes J-O, Joe. It becomes Jack, Ja, Jo. Trying to think where else that goes. And then when you add the 6 onto it, it becomes 21. But you don't, I think we have to add 5 numbers out of 6. And one of the reasons is because one of them is always going to be sitting on the ground. So now we can go in 4 directions. We can go in 4 directions around, and we can go outward in our 4 directions, okay? And that's our 8, but not up and down, creating 10. And not 4, you know, you can go, do you know that from this dice, you can go up this way and down this way? And there's here, here, and here. So there's 3 here. There's 2 here. That's 4, 5. There's 2 here, 6, 7, and there's 2 here, 8, 9. There's 8 or 9 directions. Anyways, I don't want to get into that, something new. Just remember, 1, 2, 3, 4 equals to 10. So we take that complete 10 and we inflict it into number 5. The number 4 is 10. We inflict it into number 5. And automatically with the center dot, we add 5. That becomes 10 and 5. 10 and 5. In this one, okay, it becomes 10 and 6. See these 2 in the center? They're worth 5 and 5 each. No, they're worth 3 and 3 each. They're worth 6. This one over here is worth 5. So these 2 difference will be worth 6 because the 4 are valued at 10. You follow what I'm saying? If the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 equals to 10, you add 1 more dot. I don't care where it is. It equals to 5. That'd be 10 and 5 will be 1 and 5 will be Mars. You add a 6 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 10. Then you add on 2. This one is 11. So this one is 5 and this one is 11. Actually, it says EK. So it becomes 2 and 5. It becomes the key. I'm just telling you the additional part. But if you look at it another way, it's worth 5.5 and 5.5 is 11. And that 11, like I mentioned, the reason I called this is because the ace in blackjack, you can use it on the second tier and call it ace 11. And the 11 that you're calling it, or the 11th letter in the deck, okay, or in the alphabet, is the letter K. The letter K is the 11th card in the alphabet, but in the game of cards, it becomes the K for the king, or it is the 13th card, depending on the game. Sometimes it is the 12th card when they use ace as the high card in Casino War. I'm not sure what anybody did or did not understand. Did we speak about the hard touch? Yeah, when you touch wood, it's so smooth and so soft, but at the same time, hard as nails. Soft, but hard as nails. How many times can you say that? So there's also that thing. 11, 10 through 19 is one section of numbers, and it's telling you one story. And 1 through 9 is another section of numbers telling you another story. You have 10, 20, and 30, 40 telling you a story. And then once you get to 50, you're combining either your 30 and 20, or you're combining of your creation of your 10 and your 40 together. Okay? And it's telling you, and it's using the same word. Even in 60, it's telling you the same word, but your 60 is telling you more about this because of its opposite. Your 60 is telling you about your 21. That's where 81 comes into the river, but your 70 is 60 plus 10. Your 80 is only 4 20s. So your 60 is showing you that you have a split of 10-20 where the ace has come into the game, where it has joined the light. It is the first joining of the light through the 7th gate. And your 90 is now 4 times 20 plus 10. And when you're plussing the 10, you're in the 11 through, you're in ace 11, and your birth 7 and 4, Jesus 83. Pals, my cats can read my thoughts and then they control me mentally. Hey, buddy, Ledford. Hey, how's everybody going? Harvey, the Magic 4. Yes, so many things going on. So we spoke about the number 8, how it reverts, how Q comes into the earth, and what a great role it plays, how we move the letters on the alphabetic machine, how the Muggen David tells you a different story in the star system, what a stop sign can do and what stars are. And because of the game of roulette, how numbers can now go into you can now connect 2 divisions and call it Q, or you can connect 4 divisions and call it H. But if you're calling it H, connecting 4 divisions, you're automatically going to put in our birth, because 8 means 2 worlds of O, okay, which is described in what I told you. When 2 O's come together as the 15th and 15th letter, the design shows you an H. And when you show that H of 6 and 8, it's dividing the 7th gate. The odds are 7 to 5, which explains the moon. The odds of 6 and 8 are 7 to 6, but you have to do the whole story. 6 and 8, 5 and 9, 4 and 10, and that's the game that comes from craps. The game comes from craps. The game that comes from bowling. The games that come from darts. The games that all the games that are played are all telling factual stories about their odds and how the game is played. And these are the stories I run off of. Anything that's been created by somebody else, I just add in my work to it. That way, you know the story is true. You check out the math, it matches, and fish upon my wish, I got an answer to something that I'm not sure where it belongs, but we can do this right up to the cancer cell or viruses or anything else, but we're nowhere without number 66, our freedom, to give us that true passage in the city. And one day we will have to stand up, because we will never be free in eternity unless we go there on the system of arts and entertainment to time heaven reverting in the delta angle. Figure that out. I'll tell you in the next video. STANDEAH. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 TH, time heaven. Thank you for watching. Purple 4.